Welcome to County Report this week. I'm Lorna Virgili. Thank you for joining us. The Maryland General Assembly is winding down, and over the next few weeks, some critical conversations will be taking place before the state's budget is balanced. One discussion will be the state's maintenance of effort law, and Susan Kennedy has the latest on how the county plans to handle this controversial requirement. Susan?
Lorna, the state's maintenance of effort law requires counties to maintain its level of school funding regardless of its economic situation. Failure to comply with this law means you give up any increase in state aid. Council President Valerie Irvin says she wants to amend this law so as to preserve the economic health of counties across the state. Council President Valerie Irvin paid a visit to Annapolis this week to sit down and brief lawmakers on just where the county stands on the issue. Something she says needed to be done.
It's clear to us that things are getting really complicated. They have 3 weeks to go, and so now's the time for these really serious conversations to take place in terms of how Annapolis is going to end up balancing its budget. MOE is definitely on the table, but how we get there is going to be really difficult. So I'm not quite sure yet, but I think the best thing that I could have done is something that I did do, which was to show up and to speak on behalf of the council as its president, which is not usually done. And so these were really important conversations for me as a council president to have, but I can tell you that we will have many more to come over the next 20 days.
Last year, a $1 billion budget deficit forced the county to ask for a waiver from the maintenance of effort requirement, a request that was granted by the State Board of Education. Council members say they are still committed to providing a top-notch education system, but believe the law needs to be amended to reflect fiscal pressures and the school's demonstrated performance levels. Council President Irvin says the school system also has to recognize the law is flawed.
In my conversation with Speaker Bush, he did mention to me that this is not just a Montgomery County problem. It affects his county as well. So there are at least four counties that will not meet maintenance of effort this year. Anne Arundel's one, Queen Anne's is one, Wicomico, and Montgomery. And for all we know, there could be others. But what our Board of Education is doing is creating havoc for the entire state of Maryland. So, to be continued. We're a long way from the end.
I'm Susan Kennedy for County Report This Week.
Recently, an assessment requested by officials found that some at-risk Latino youth in Montgomery County felt their needs were not being met. This prompted County Executive Ike Leggett to bring county leaders together to come up with a set of recommendations and action steps to improve the quality of life for Latino youth.
To me, the one recommendation that jumps out the most, and it's one that I've been on record as supporting, is this whole notion of schools as community hubs, which I call community schools. And I know we did some work with the Community Cluster Project to begin to go down that road. I think that we have a lot of lessons learned there, and we can use that as a template. But to me, that is one area that hopefully when we get a new superintendent, we can begin conversations with the board about moving forward with schools as community hubs, as places where families feel they can come for services, for classes, etc. in the evening, a place where you feel that the community can come and find whatever resources they might need. To me, that's the most important one, and it's one that I hope I can work to promote.
The county's Office of Public Information has conducted several community forums to respond to residents' questions regarding the new code enforcement laws that will go into effect on April 24th. Here are the answers to two particular topics: home-based businesses and paving of front yards. If your paved front yard was built prior to October 2010, it does not have to be removed, even if it does not meet the current measurements for residential zones of 30 to 35% of the front yard, or 320 square feet.
If it was there when the council passed the law, you don't have to rip it up, but you can't add to it. And after this October, there's a maximum of how many cars you can park on it.
Starting this October, no more than one vehicle may be parked for every 160 square feet of paved surface. If the paved surface needs repairs, the concrete or asphalt can be replaced, but the surface cannot be increased. County residents can operate businesses out of their homes, but with certain restrictions. There are 3 types of home-based businesses: no impact, registered, and home health practitioner. Registered businesses need a permit from the Department of Permitting Services, and the person who performs the occupation must live in the house. On-site parking for home occupations is limited to 2 spaces. Lawn maintenance companies are allowed 1 single axle truck.
You can have equipment related to your lawn maintenance business, which is cutting grass, plowing snow, raking leaves, pretty much just about as you can do with the lawn maintenance business. And you can bring that home. It can be on a trailer or in the back of your pickup truck, but it has to be stored inside someplace when you come back home. 1 non-resident employee can come to the house. More than that, it's a staging area. They're in violation of the home occupation regulations.
Parking of heavy commercial vehicles on recreational vehicles is prohibited on residential streets. Same goes for inoperable and unregistered vehicles. To get the facts on how the new laws are enforced, visit montgomerycounty.md.gov/goodneighbors or call 311. By both the county executive and the council, each member had experience in reform in government or private sector. Council Vice President Roger Berliner gave us his thoughts on the organizational reform report and the recommendations that are on the table.
It definitely was time well spent. They worked very hard and they looked at our county government and they said, here are areas where we think we can be more efficient and hopefully save some dollars. And they came forward with a lot of recommendations. And what you heard today was our council basically saying, we agree, we want to support this kind of work, and we urge our county executive to embrace this as well. And I think you're seeing a great deal of common ground in terms of how to assure our public at this moment in time, when our fiscal situation is as difficult as it is, that we are trying to find ways to serve them more efficiently and with more cost effectiveness.
37 members of the Montgomery County Police Department, Sheriff's Office, Fire and Rescue Bomb Squad, and the SWAT team were the recipients of the Public Safety Awards. During a luncheon ceremony, the Montgomery County Chamber of Commerce honored these heroes who responded to the September 1st hostage situation at Discovery Communications in downtown Silver Spring. The awards recognize the first responders who handled the hostage situation and saved the lives of 2 Discovery employees and a security guard. When we come back, we will bring you the latest from the county's Department of Transportation regarding budget cut impacts.
I'm Rockville 11's Bridget Breuer. Coming up next, we'll tell you about a special exchange program with students from Japan when County Report This Week continues.
Welcome back to County Report This Week. I'm Lorna Virgili. Japanese exchange students recently visited Rockville, where community service was the main theme. Rockville 11's Bridget Breuer covered the details of this trip. Bridget?
That's right. Despite the tragedy in Japan, these students still made it to come complete a community service project here in Rockville. 100 Japanese students showed up at Civic Center Park to get their hands dirty. It was part of a cultural exchange program that immersed the Japanese 10th graders into American life. Sakura Educational Exchange USA Program Manager Stephanie Libonati organized the trip with a focus on community service.
Well, basically what we've done, we attended Rockville High School for the day, and Rockville High School, the National Honor Society, and their Green Club contacted Rockville Civic Center Park, and together we're just trying to do some activities to clean up the park, teach our students about environmental concerns, and again, how we can spread community service throughout the world.
Teacher Mr. Kasaka said there was a lot of preparation for the trip.
History. And American culture and American geography and so on.
Libonati says the students appreciate the concern Americans have had in the wake of the tragic events of the recent earthquake and tsunami in Japan.
The students, of course, are very worried, and they're luckily not from the area that was hit by the earthquake. But of course, friends and family are on all of our minds. I used to live in Japan myself, so of course I have friends and family that I worry about over there as well. So of course they appreciate everybody's concern and sympathy about it, and anything that they they can do to help. You know, the Red Cross in Japan is very, very strong, and they're doing wonderful work over there.
City horticulturalist Rob Orndorff was happy to have eager helpers for cleanup projects around Rockville Civic Center Park.
As far as I can tell, they're very enthusiastic. Everybody got off the buses, got in their groups, and went out to work. I was kind of standing there amazed that everybody dispersed as quickly as they did right on their tasks. So I'm very pleased with how quickly they went to work.
We had the chance to talk to a few Rockville High School students to find out how the day went with their Japanese counterparts.
It's been awesome because I practice Japanese, so getting to speak with them and stuff, and then seeing them how their culture is, it's like amazing for me. And then having them in our school is even better because they get to see how our culture is too.
I think this has been a really positive experience. You know, I was looking forward to this for a long time. You know, I knew they were coming a couple months ahead of time, and it was so you know, enjoyable to see a new culture and, you know, do things with them to help the community. So that's how my experience was.
And what about you, Anna?
I also felt like it was a great positive experience. I was a little apprehensive because I just wasn't sure I was going to go with somebody who didn't really know my language that well, but even though my buddy, she didn't speak English very well, we were still able to communicate just through body gestures and that universal human language with the smiles, and she could read English, so we communicated really well, and it was great. I got to see some of her culture, and I felt like it was really fun getting to show her around the school and show her what an American school was like.
I learned how to say hi, konnichiwa.
Can you tell me what your experience has been like today?
My experience was pretty fun. You know, it was a totally different culture coming along, and just being with us, it was a great pleasure.
I think it was really fun because I got to get to know them more. I've been to Japan, but I don't really speak to people that are my age group, so it was really good to get to know them.
The students will visit the U.S. for 2 weeks, practicing their English and learning more about American culture.
Now let's go to Tom Pogue from the county's Department of Transportation for an update regarding budget cuts and bus services.
Hi, I'm Tom Pogue, Community Relations Manager for the Department of Transportation. Here's an update for Montgomery County. Working to close a $300 million budget gap, County Executive Leggett announced his recommended operating budget for the fiscal year that begins July 1st. The county continues to struggle with a challenging fiscal situation as the economy recovers. MCDOT's proposed budget contains cuts, but in no case will the public safety be compromised. The budget will reduce grass mowing, road patching, traffic studies, signal loop detector repairs, and the discount on Ride-On's monthly pass. The cost of Call and Ride's second voucher book would increase. Long-term parking rates in Silver Spring and Bethesda are proposed to increase by 10 cents an hour, and parking charges are proposed for Bethesda's lots and garages on Saturdays. Despite the difficult financial picture, DOT continues its commitment to innovation and efficient transportation system. Traffic signal modernization remains on track. No reductions in Ride-On service are proposed. Initiatives include real-time bus information for Ride-On passengers and installing more energy-efficient lighting in parking garages. For more budget information, go to montgomerycountymd.gov. We're working to keep you moving.
Still to come on County Report this week, Montgomery College receives $75,000 in grants from Holy Cross Hospital. And we will see what the local Red Cross office is doing to help earthquake victims in Japan. Welcome back to County Report this week. I'm Lorna Virgili. A few weeks ago, Japan was struck by an earthquake that triggered a 13-foot tsunami. Hundreds of thousands are still displaced. Montgomery Community Media visited the American Red Cross of the National Capital Area, and here is what our local community can do to help.
The American Red Cross, whether it's locally, across the country, or around the world, helps people prepare for, respond to, and recover from emergencies. That's our mission, that's what we do, no matter what the size of that emergency is. So in the case of the earthquake and tsunami in Japan, we are waiting for the society that is in charge of the Red Cross in that particular country. The Red Cross internationally has societies around the world, and what the American Red Cross does is wait until we are requested by that particular society for the kind of help that they need. When we get calls, not only in this area in Montgomery County, but around the country, they may ask for our emergency response vehicles to come and help. So we have volunteers at the ready who can be called to provide assistance around the country. So, you know, if something happened here in Montgomery County, a terrific tragedy, you know, something horrible, and we needed help from Red Cross chapters around the country, we could ask for that. In turn, if somebody requires our help, we immediately can respond with this vehicle to provide the kind of support that they need. And this vehicle has especially trained volunteers and some staff who can help drive it and provide the assistance that the victims of a tragedy might require. We've been having a tremendous outpouring of support for the tragedy in Japan, the earthquake and the tsunami. And people have called us to say how they can help, and how they can help is by providing financial assistance. And there are a number of ways that they can do that. They can visit the Red Cross website at www.redcross.org and provide a financial contribution that way. They can text Red Cross 90999 and provide a $10 contribution. It's a very simple way for people to provide assistance.
Montgomery College and Holy Cross Hospital have established a new fund to support health-related education. The Holy Cross Hospital Fund named its first 6 recipients at a recent groundbreaking ceremony on Montgomery College's Germantown campus. Here are the details.
As part of our commitment at Holy Cross to biosciences and to the expansion of nursing education, we have a joint work group from Holy Cross and from Montgomery College. And they reviewed 13 applications from college faculty and staff for funding and selected 6 for this year.
Montgomery College President Dr. Darian Pollard and Holy Cross Hospital President and CEO Kevin Sexton announced nearly $75,000 of grant funding from the new Holy Cross Hospital Fund at a recent groundbreaking ceremony for Montgomery College's Bioscience Education Center. The grants will provide financial support for library resources, training materials, and internship opportunities for health sciences and general science students at Montgomery College.
Montgomery College will provide students with hands-on educational experiences, plus it will allow for the expansion of our academic programs to meet the rigorous demands of the new economy, science, and healthcare industries.
We are a partner of Montgomery College and very proud to be so. Through our partnership with the college, we will be training the next generation of workers in healthcare and bioscience.
This announcement comes in conjunction with the Maryland Healthcare Commission's approval for Holy Cross Hospital to build a new hospital within Montgomery College's future Science and Technology Park on the Germantown campus. The hospital and the grants will be a great benefit to students, Montgomery College, and the community.
The grants we got from Holy Cross is going to help our students train on equipment that will keep them up to date with industry standards.
The funding is going to allow for some special projects to try to increase the pipeline for healthcare professionals. Also, the hospital is going to offer additional unique experiences because of the clinical opportunities for students.
This is a great day for Montgomery County, the state of Maryland, and really for our world.
Now, do you have all shoes that are gently used and collecting dust in your closet? Montgomery College has a program where your shoes could be walking in another country. Lillian Bass reports.
In many countries around the world, children's shoes are considered a luxury. Many of these children go barefoot on soil and are susceptible to hookworms that feed on their human host. Once infected, they can later develop anemia. This is where Walking My Shoes Global Project comes into play. Its mission is to provide new and gently used shoes to children in developing countries. Montgomery College students in Free Enterprise has recently supported the project by coordinating a shoe drive on the Rockville campus.
They've helped me in every way, promotionally. They did a collection of donation of not only shoes but money, which really helped me get shoes to, at that time, to Haiti again and to Sierra Leone. In that way. But I think more so than anything, prior to talking to the Macklin students, I was pretty much doing this on my own. And they really provided tremendous support by getting the word out, by going to high schools and junior high schools and grammar schools in the area. They've helped me in 360 degrees in every way. I mean, I think that it was sort of like taking a boost of liquid vitamins. It really, even though I had every intention to continuing this project, it really sort of forged a certain amount of energy into my moving ahead with all of this.
If you are interested in helping these worthy cause, you can visit their website at www.walkingmyshoesglobalproject.com and make a donation to support the next shipment of shoes. For MCTV, I'm Lillian Mess.
This week's Pet of the Week highlights two dogs named Hobbs and Blue. They're trying to stay together and they need a home. Here's Kathy Stanhope with more.
Hi, this is Kathy Stanhope with your Pet of the Week at the Montgomery County Humane Society. And I am here with two buddies. This is Hobbs, the yellow lab here, and Blue right here, who's a Labrador mix, a black lab mix. They are bonded friends. They have been together for years. Hobbs here is about 4.5 and Blue's about 5. Their owner just moved and can't take them with them. And they would love to get adopted together. I know they seem a little rambunctious right now. That's because they just got out of the cage. I was visiting them in the cage about 5 minutes ago, and they were calm and collected and sweet, but now that they've been released, they're just so excited to get out of that cage, and they want to go home with you. So if you have a lot of love and a lot of room in your home and your heart, please come down and meet Blue and Hobbs. They are wonderful dogs. It would be just so wonderful if we could adopt them together. I know that's asking a lot because they are both pretty big dogs. But like I said, they really do calm down beautifully when they've had a few minutes to adjust. And they've been together their whole lives. So come visit us at the Montgomery County Animal Shelter on Rothgeb in Rockville, or visit us on the web at mchumane.org, or even give us a call at 240-773-5967. Come meet Hobbs and Blue, and you may go home with your two very best friends, and just think how good that will make you and them feel.
Coming up, Damascus High School is preparing the next generation of cybersecurity personnel. Also, we will take you to Brookside Gardens and we'll give you tips on how to trim hedges. County Report this week. We'll be right back. Welcome back to County Report this week. I'm Lorna Virgili. Spring is officially here and it is time to start working in the yard. We are heading to Brookside Gardens where Phil Normandy is going to teach us how to trim hedges properly.
Hi, I'm Phil Normandy, Plant Collections Manager here at very sunny Brookside Gardens. Do you have overgrown plants? I bet you do. Almost everybody does. It's nothing to be ashamed of, but this is the perfect time of the year to make that right. Take, for example, this overgrown yew hedge we have here at the gardens. It had basically eaten up about half of the sidewalk, and this hedge is about 40 years old. So we took matters into our own hands and decided to push it back to where it belongs. We did that first by establishing a guideline with our string, which actually corresponds to the edge of the old walk, believe it or not. And you can see that the shrubs actually were out this far. We came in and using our hand pruners and some other tools, we did a major cutback, and we're hoping that this will regrow and green up again very soon. This is what you would hope for to happen within the first growing season. A lot of fresh green growth right where the cuts were made, and then you can go back and start shearing them flat as you would choose. Yew bushes are very slow to recover, and so you may have to wait 2 to 3 years for this to be fully grown in. However, hollies and other evergreens grow in much faster. Happy pruning.
It is still spring, but summer is almost here, especially for parents of young children and youth. It is midpoint in the registration process for the county's recreation summer camps and programs. Montgomery Park's summer camps offer nature, ice skating, hockey, tennis, and more. For more information, visit montgomerycountymd.gov/REC or call 240-777-6840. And talking about youth, Montgomery County Public Schools' Leslie Maxwell went to Damascus High School this past week to visit a computer networking class that is creating the next generation of cybersecurity experts.
At Damascus High School, in one of the more rural parts of Montgomery County, a computer networking class is one of the most high-tech in the school system. These students, most of them 16 or 17 years old, have already learned the skills it takes to link computers and devices together to exchange data. Now, Damascus computer science teacher Jeff Hansen has them sharpening the skills they need to protect computer systems from cyber attacks. Later this week, they will test those new skills as they go head-to-head with other high school computer whizzes around the nation to see who has the best cybersecurity chops. The competition, known as the U.S. Cyber Challenge, is sponsored by SANS, a Bethesda-based computer security firm that is tapping into American high schools to find some of the best minds to recruit into the burgeoning field of cybersecurity.
What they want to do is they want to find high school kids who are interested in computers, interested in computer forensics, and protecting computer systems through computer security. And they want to find these students and encourage them to go into these college majors and degree programs so they become the cyber warriors of the future.
27 of Hansen's students already competed in the first round of the competition earlier this month, with 8 of them finishing in the top 25% in a field of 600 students.
So on Friday, we're probably going to have a 20-minute or 20-question tests, probably 20 or 40 minutes or something, and it'll be on Linux and Windows operating systems to kind of see what we know and give us an idea of what we should know if we're going to go into this field.
All the stuff that we've learned, all the field trips, all the information they tell us about how they need more women in their workforce and how they actually just need anybody in the IT field right now, made me more interested. It made me more interested, pretty much. It's like they want us more. I understand the need for young IT students.
Students who could soon find themselves on the front lines to fight against a growing number of cyber attacks.
Good luck to those Damascus students. And that does it for County Report this week. Join us at this time every week for a look at what's going on inside Montgomery County. I'm Lorna Virgili, and thank you for watching.
Montgomery College has extended the application deadline for fall 2011 health sciences programs to April 1st. Only those students ready to begin their professional and clinical courses in the fall should apply. You can apply online or at any of our 3 campuses. Barbara Talley, renowned author, motivational speaker, and poet, will present Superwoman Doesn't Live Here Anymore at MC's Cultural Arts Center on the Tacoma Park Silver Spring campus Thursday, March 31st. Her appearance is free and open to the public. Dr. Buddy Muse, MC's Associate Director of the Office of Distance Education and Learning Technologies, has been named the Maryland Distance Learning Association Administrator of the Year for his work with MDLA, Maryland Online, and Quality Matters. For more information about the endless possibilities at your community college, visit our website.